Why do I keep getting myself in these situations? Of all the things that I've got in my craft stash, of all the wonderful crafting supplies Dollar Tree has, I have to make something out of a toilet plunger. Uh huh. Yeah. It's just another crazy episode of just our imagination. Hang on. Here we go. To start this toilet plunger hack, I'm going to be using a ceramic candlestick and, of course, the plunger. And we have to use both parts. But I am going to cut down the dowel rod of the plunger to 6 inches. And I do this using my miter box and saw, which you can pick up at Walmart or Lowe's. Or I do have a link for it in my Amazon store, which is listed in the description box. Now, I want this fountain to have a faux concrete look. So I'm mixing together some steel chalk paint and plaster chalk paint along with some baking soda to give it that texture because we all know concrete pieces aren't perfectly smooth, and I'm going for, like, this reminds me of what my grandmother had. She had a fountain, and it she quit using it as a fountain and eventually turned it into a planter. So we're going to make a fake concrete fountain turned flower planter here. Now, the trick to using the baking soda is to make sure that you mix it thoroughly with your paint so that there isn't any powder still left. You want to make sure that all that gets blended into your paint, and it's a good thick consistency. Um, there's really no rhyme nor reason. I just threw the baking soda in there till I had the consistency that I wanted. So I'm first taking this dowel rod and just kind of pitter patting it on there. If it gets a little too thick in some areas, I spread it out. But this does give the whole piece a lot of texture, and you'll be able to see that later on. So if you are new here, my name is Robin. Welcome back to all my subscribers. I love you guys. If you're new, welcome, welcome. I hope you'll consider joining the crafty crew. We have a lot of fun here on this channel, and it's a great community to be a part of. We laugh together, we support one another, and I hope you'll leave a comment, if nothing else, just to say hi and let me know where you're from, because I love chatting with you guys in the comments. So here I go with the concrete mixture on the rubber part of the plunger, and I did apply some Mod Podge to that as well as this candlestick. And I'm using the same mixture on my candlestick. But first I applied a coat of Mod Podge because this is ceramic and we all know how that goes, ceramic with paint. I wanted to make sure this was going to stick. Now, originally I was going to use a flower pot, and the ones I had were either too small or too big, and it just didn't look right. So use whatever you have. You can make the plunger as long or as short as you need to make it, look in scale. So I apologize right up front for this camera angle. There was no other way to do this. I mixed together some moss chalk paint along with some plaster, and I'm giving this faux concrete kind of a patinaed look because if you have any ornamental concrete sitting out in your yard, you know that over time when it gets damp, when it gets rained on, and over time, it kind of gets this green patina to it. So that's what I'm doing here using a chippy brush, and I'm especially paying attention to those beautiful little designs on my candlestick. and I go over the entire piece. I know my plunger looks a little cattywamped right here. But I do go back in and fix that. I had used some hot glue, but I do go back and fix it. So to start adding my florals, because remember, this was a water fountain that we're going to turn into a beautiful flower planter now. I started with my greenery first, and I put in 2 pieces of those round styrofoam circles that you get at the Dollar Tree, and they are hard to poke florals into. So I grabbed my dotting tool and made some holes. It's a lot easier to get the pieces in there. I'm using this, what was it called? Amaranthus? Whatever it is, this long flowy stuff in pink and purple. I wanted this to look really lush, really full and gorgeous, just full of spring goodness. You can use whatever florals you like. This would be a great centerpiece for your entryway or table. Now, here is a tip. If you have florals that are kind of bent up, scrunched up, take your heat tool and just let it blow onto those florals, and they will come out flat like they're supposed to. Just once you do that, let it sit down and cool off, and then put them in your arrangement. I had these pretty butterflies that came on this onion grass pick from the Dollar Tree, and as you see, I'm filling in the top. I filled in the spaces on the sides with some other flowers. And guys, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. Can you believe I used a toilet plunger for this? You guys, please let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Look at that patina. Oh, I love it. It looks like concrete to me. What do you think? My next must use item in this challenge was to use a garden fence from the Dollar Tree. Now, all I can say about this is cut this very carefully because it's so easy to like tear it or cut where you don't want to or cut off parts that you don't want to. I'm using a box cutter. You could also use utility scissors. I used both actually, although I didn't show it, but all I want here is one panel. And I want to thank you guys so much. I know that I'm late posting to this playlist. It was supposed to be part of the Just Our Imagination challenge. And as y'all know, I come down with some kind of creepy crud. I just didn't feel myself. So I want to thank you for being patient. I wanted to participate when this playlist came out, but I do want to say that I'm feeling 100% better. And this challenge is hosted monthly by Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Kathy Joe from Kathy Joe DIYs. And the guest host was Miss Jackie from Jackie Burns Creations. So if you would, please go down to the description box when you're finished with this video and check out their links, go see what they made, and check out the fabulous playlist. All right, so this fence, I'm going to pretend it's like a gate. So I want to build layers on this fence because it's been around for a long, long, long time. Y'all know I've got to have stories to go along with this. So first I used some white chalk paint, and now I'm going in with the celery to give it that patina that I love so much. And plus, it kind of blends in with the first DIY. I know it's not showing up very well here, but this turns out absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just using my chippy brush again, hitting it, excuse me, here and there, the high points. Oh, I love the way that turns out. I'm also using one of these framed signs from the Dollar Tree and my moss chalk paint, which was a little thick. So I added a spritz of water, mixed it up, and that made it much easier to spread around. And all I'm going to do is give it just a hit and miss coat along the frame. And it doesn't really matter if I get some on the inside because we're going to cover it all up anyway. I hope y'all are enjoying watching me make these DIYs because these were truly fun to make. I loved all the colors that I incorporated into them. And if you're enjoying this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you give it a big old fat thumbs up, leave me a comment, and especially share it out with your family and friends. You can share it on your own social media. All these things really help my channel to grow, and I appreciate y'all so much in advance for doing these things. So I got one of these wall tiles from Family Dollar because they're $1 there versus $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. And I cut it down to size using my steel and plaster chalk paint mixture. I wanted to give this, it's like a garden wall, and it's made out of limestone. So that's why I chose those two colors. It's made out of limestone rock. Y'all just got to use your imagination, okay? Then once I had it painted and dried, this stuff, this particular wall tile wants to curl up once you get it painted. So, with the help of a lot of hot glue and some clamps, it will stay down no problem. You just got to stick with it. And as you'll see on the right hand side, yeah, I didn't exactly cut it straight. I cut it a little bit short, but that's all right. So then I glued down my garden gate, okay, because we're creating a scene here, okay? And this is like a garden gate, and in the background is the old garden wall, and it's not been tended to in a long time. So there's some grass that's grown up, and I'm using my imagination here. I'm building up just different layers. You'll see me use layers of different greenery and florals and just all kinds of goodness. Picked up some of this hanging greenery from the Dollar Tree and cut it down into pieces. And because I wanted to make it look like there was just some kind of old vine growing out of the rocks. And that does happen in nature. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to make as natural as possible, y'all. For the bottom, or what we're going to call the grass area, I put down some Spanish moss and some reindeer moss just to give it a lot of texture. I added a few pieces of heather, that's the purple stuff down there, just to give it some color, and some boxwood, just really filling it all in down there. Now, to make it look even more real, I'm adding some reindeer moss across the top and down the side because y'all have all seen moss, growing out of rocks and, you know, old houses made out of stone and things like that. Plus, it helps cover up my mistake where I cut that side way too short. And do be careful gluing this stuff down, y'all, because I burnt myself I don't know how many times, and I've got my silicone spatula laying right there. So, yeah, do as I say, not as I do. I love the way this one turns out. It's so, I don't know the word for it. It old and just, I don't know. I really love it. Y'all have to let me know what you think down in the comments. There's that gate, the patina that I was talking about. And oh my gosh, let me know what you think. And if you're still watching this video with me, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And today's word of the day is garden. Leave me the word garden in the comments and you have to use it in a sentence. So until next time, y'all go get your craft on. Bye.